So I'm trying to make it to court. Got to get out of here. But I did want to answer your question. So you asked me who was testifying today. So Dawn Hughes, she is a psychologist who has testified in a lot of high-profile cases. R. Kelly, Johnny Depp, and Harvey Weinstein.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy's team, of course, did not want her to be able to take the stand. But she is being allowed to take the stand, and she's going to, I guess, speak to the mental, like the thinking and the non-processing and the cognitive, like, he made this mistake knowingly or not, like those type of things that I guess she's seen from other cases.
How can she do that if she never spoke to Diddy?
They're going to make sure that her testimony is within a certain scope. So when they did that before, they did it with Dawn. They did that with Dawn, where like they were arguing her testimony shouldn't be able to be allowed because Cassie didn't speak to the domestic violence incident that Dawn alleges she saw. But the judge was like, well, we should allow it because it lends into, you know, how he was able to coerce or force or whatever, but only within a certain scope to protect his rights.
I bet you that scope don't include. So if he takes another man's semen and rubs it on his nipples, what does that mean psychologically?
That's just what he liked to do to get off.
That's not how a therapist would respond.
Loren
Loren would be like, yeah, he was doing his big one. Therapist
Listen, that's how he get out. What am I going to do? That's his own business. Well, now it's all of our business. But
that's why I don't think a therapist would respond like that. But I don't think that would be in the scope.
Yeah, I don't really know where they're gonna go with her, but we'll see today. And then they're gotta finish up with the special agent who raided Diddy's home. They talked yesterday about the special agent, and they found like the AR-15s and lube and baby oil and all these different things at Diddy's Miami home.
Oh, see, I want to hear more from them because everybody talks about. I saw somebody say the other day that Diddy was never under investigation. That is just not true. Like there was a whole federal investigation. They raided his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a man named
Remember the son made a song and was like, y'all raided the wrong house. Come back and try next door.
Yeah, that was dumb.
So dumb.
Homeland Security Investigations agent. His name is Gerard Gannon. He started testifying yesterday, and he's going to finish up today, detailing the March 2024 raid that they did on the Miami estate. Mm-hmm. He was a special agent in charge, and he said it was like 80 to 90 agents that were involved, and they found AR-15 rifles loaded with bullets, serial number scratched off. They found sex toys, Astroglide lubricant, and of course they showed photos to the jury of all of these things. And they said that they found the guns in Diddy's bedroom closet in Miami. So, and these were included in the federal indictment. So he's going to finish up and talk about some more things I'm assuming that they found. And then they are going to bring on George Kaplan, who is an employee that used to work for them, that used to work for Diddy, that alleges he quit after seeing some physical violence or physical abuse. And then Kid Cudi is on the list for today, but there's no way. Let me not say there's no way. They don't believe they'll get to Kid Cudi, and I was told that they probably won't get to Kid Cudi. That Kid Cudi will probably open up the testimonies on Thursday. So there's that. And they've been having a conversation, not in court, but I saw CNN did an article about Diddy's wealth, because as of right now, Forbes still has some valued at like $400 million. I
saw that actually.
Yeah, and Laura Coates, she did a really good breakdown about what happens to his money, because I think a lot of people have been trying to figure that out too. Like, does he still have the money? Does he not? And she had this expert on who talked about, because they didn't mention taking any of his money prior to and any of the search and seizures that they did, everything's up for grabs right now. But basically, it would depend on what they prove in court and how that money came in to support that, because the big thing that they're leaning on right now is this was an enterprise. It takes money to fund the enterprise. So I'm assuming that whatever they can prove money-wise went into this enterprise, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't understand. I watched that. I didn't understand it because I'm like, why would they be able to take his assets? Like, I didn't understand it.
And they also talked to David James, who's was one of Diddy's assistants for 2 years. They had him on the stand, and he talked about being told how to, when he would go buy things that, you know, were obviously not just for work, they would tell him, like baby oil, right, how to put it where it's not being listed as if Bad Boy was paying for it.
Ain't got no petty cash for Astroglide?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So it was personal.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
you know. And he said he messed up because the first time he paid for it, and they were like, "No, don't do it that way."
So he paid for it with the corporate card.
Yeah, so he had to do it a different way. And that same assistant is the one who gave more context to that Suge Knight situation. And he said that you know, I think I talked about this with y'all yesterday.
Yeah,
he went into that, but the defense tried to get the assistant out of here too. They brought up a time where I guess he got into it with one of the chefs that used to work for Chef Jordan, that guy that was working for Diddy. And it just sounded like, though, that he became almost like a product of the environment that he was in. And that's what, they were pointing to a lot of those things trying to discredit him. But in my opinion, it sounded like, okay, he was in this environment where all this crazy stuff was happening. And he just started doing what he was seeing. But he testified that he saw, and he was overworked, and that he saw things that just didn't make sense, and that he had to run down on Suge Knight, or would have if Suge Knight would have actually been there.
I was thinking about that. If all of this stuff is true, Suge Knight ain't had nothing on Diddy.
What you mean?
You think so?
Suge
Or do we
Knight has
just
always been known as the boogeyman of hip hop. But if all of this stuff is true, Suge ain't had nothing on Diddy.
Oh, you mean as far as the type of person they are?
Being a boogeyman. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like bad boy was bad boy for real. Let me ask you a question. Is this trial consuming you, Loren?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Last weekend, that's why I went to the comedy show. Jess was great. I went to the comedy show. I tried to stay offline. Not even just the trial, but even the coverage of it, because things are starting to go viral. It's like so many more people's opinions and people calling me, and I'm just like, ugh. Like,
Sometimes
oh my God.
you just gotta release. Just relax and release.
Yeah.
Disconnect.
And you don't gotta
That's what
answer the damn
I
phone.
didn't realize until this that I don't know how to disconnect. So last weekend was my first time trying of like, okay, I'm just gonna hang with my family. I'm not gonna get on my phone. When I post, I got right off. I didn't look at notifications. Normally I engage in my comments. I'm not doing that no more. When I leave the court, I'm getting in my Uber and going home. Like, I don't need to run into no more.
That's what you telling all your babes, so now you ain't gotta freaking try to juggle 3 or 4 of them at one time.
Yeah.
There's
That's
no
what
way
you
she
telling them?
can.
I'm sure Unc don't make it better, huh? Just messing up your babe.
I'm not juggling anything.
Okay.
I am,
Absolutely not. Now you
flowing
can.
effortlessly in one direction, and I'm good.
Yeah, because you threw Diddy into the mix. You don't got time to juggle nothing.
No.
Wow.
Just Diddy,
Pause.
Diddy, everything.
No, but
In
you
and
know,
out.
the people that support me are doing a really good job of making sure I disconnect and I get time off and, you know,
Yeah.
date nights and things like that. So
What date night?
I'm good.
Thank you, Loren.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Now you head to court now, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.